This tea is made from roasted barley. It's also called Mugicha, and while it's really common in Japan, you've probably never heard of it. It has an incredibly unique flavor, no caffeine, and it can even be cold brewed. After traveling around Japan for the past few years, we've discovered dozens of incredible teas for neoteas.com, but we've never made a video about Mugicha. In this video, I'll show you what Mugicha is, how to brew Mugicha, and then we're going to be doing a proper tasting, preparing Mugicha hot and cold and comparing it to other popular roasted teas in Japan, like Hojicha and Sobacha. So first off, what is Mugicha? If we take a look at the kanji, we notice two characters, one for mugi and one for cha. Mugi is barley or grain, and cha is of course tea. That's why you see cha in almost every type of Japanese tea. Sencha, matcha, kukicha, hojicha, etc. The Mugicha pronunciation is simple, with just 3 syllables, mu-gi-cha. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's take a deep dive into this tea. Well, technically it's not a tea, because it doesn't come from the tea plant Camellia sinensis. Instead, it's made from roasting grains of barley. Barley is incredibly common in Japan, and it's actually the 4th most produced crop globally. And while tea tends to be quite expensive, barley is quite cheap. There is a Japanese tea made from roasted tea leaves called Hojicha, but we're going to discuss that later in the video. While the barley grains don't offer as much of a complex flavor as tea leaves, one benefit they have is that they're caffeine-free. All true teas contain some level of caffeine, because caffeine is used by the tea plant to defend its leaves against insects. Because there are no tea leaves in Mugicha, it's naturally caffeine-free. This means that you can drink it during pregnancy, as the limit is generally considered to be 200 milligrams per day. Is Mugicha gluten-free as well? Even though it's caffeine-free, it's not gluten-free. Barley is a grain that naturally contains gluten, and the gluten can be extracted into the water when you brew Mugicha. If you have celiac, you should avoid drinking Mugicha. But let's make up some of this Mugicha and see what it tastes like. The most common way to prepare Mugicha in Japan is actually as a cold brew. Many supermarkets sell tea bags filled with Mugicha, and you can brew them in a pitcher full of cold water. I'm going to try to brew it without the tea bag. At NeoTeas, we really avoid tea bags at all costs, because loose leaf tea is far better for the environment, for your health, and for the flavor. When you prepare loose leaf teas, not only do you get access to better quality leaves, but you're also able to give the leaves enough space to expand and release their flavor, rather than packing them into a tea bag. All the best teas in the world are prepared without tea bags, and if you want to try some of our favorites, you can find them all on our website, neoteas.com. Anyways, let's start with the cold brew Mugicha. Normally, it's recommended to infuse 2 to 3 tablespoons of Mugicha into 1 liter of water for a couple of hours. I decided to scale this down into 1 tablespoon of Mugicha and 500 milliliters of water. The longer you brew, the more flavor will be extracted and the darker the color will become. This one was only brewed for 1 hour, which is not enough, but I also ran this experiment for 4 hours and found that that was the sweet spot. Normally when we cold brew Japanese teas like this sencha, the flavor is much stronger after only an hour or so, but this Mugicha takes time. The cold water extracts more of the sweet and caramel notes of the Mugicha and less of the roast. This is a trend we also notice with Hojicha. Normally it's thought of as a hot tea with these bold roasted notes, but when you prepare it as a cold brew, it really leans more into these caramel and chocolate taste profiles. If you want to try the best Hojicha we found in Japan, you can find that on our website. But the note that really stood out to me in this cold brew Mugicha was raisin bran, specifically the slightly sweet bran flakes. If you ask me what does Mugicha taste like, raisin bran is the first thing I would say. This really differentiates Mugicha from the other types of roasted Japanese teas like Sobacha, which we'll be comparing a little bit later. By the way, if you're wondering what the actual grains of Mugicha taste like, I also tested that too. Just picture slightly overcooked popcorn kernels and you got it. But I also want to prepare the Mugicha with hot water and see if I can get a little more roast out of it. I looked up how to brew Mugicha and found that the ratio is the same as for cold brew, but I wanted to standardize the brewing with Hojicha so I could see how it compares. I'll use 1 tablespoon of Mugicha, 150 milliliters of boiling water, and a brewing time of 5 minutes. The barley grains are harder to extract than tea leaves, so you either need very hot water or a really long brewing time. 5 minutes is normally way too long for a tea, but the Hojicha leaves can handle it because they're roasted. I'll also be brewing up some Sobacha or buckwheat tea. This is similar to Mugicha, but instead of barley, it's made from wheat. You probably know soba noodles, which are Japanese buckwheat noodles. This is basically the tea version of that, except it's not a real tea. Just saying. First, let's compare the flavor of Mugicha versus Hojicha, and then we'll come back to the Sobacha. The Tokonami Kyusu teapot is the perfect tool for brewing up these teas for a few reasons. 1, it gives more space to allow the leaves to open up and release their flavor into the water. leading to richer tasting brews. It also has this hollow side handle, which is really important when you're using boiling water, because it stays cool to the touch when you brew so you don't burn your hands. Normally, you would have to use a separate teapot for brewing roasted teas like these, but the clay from Tokoname doesn't season because it has a low porosity. After meeting with our teapot producers in Tokoname, we found that these are the best teapots for beginners because they allow you to brew multiple different tea types without impacting the flavor. If you want to get your own, you can find them on our website, neoteas.com. When you brew Mugicha with boiling water, it really pulls out more of the bold roasted notes. You still get that slightly sweet bran note, but it has to compete with more woodiness and roast. The Hojicha is much more complex, with more acidity, a stronger roast, and a hint of coffee. It also has this slightly woody taste and a caramel sweetness in the finish. Of course, the Hojicha is going to be a better tea overall because it's actually made out of tea leaves, but I was surprised at just how close the Mugicha got, considering that it's made out of barley. Overall, I would say this tea tastes much closer to Hojicha than Sobacha. The Sobacha has a milder flavor overall. It's less sweet but more starchy. If you've ever chewed a raw soba noodle, it tastes a lot like that. The super starchy, slightly salty flavor with a lot of minerality. The flavor of Mugicha surprisingly has more in common with Hojicha than it does with Sobacha. But now that we've covered the flavor of Mugicha, let's discuss the Mugicha tea benefits. As we discussed before, Mugicha is caffeine-free, which means if you're sensitive to caffeine, it can be a good alternative to tea and coffee. In addition to this, there are a number of other health benefits of Mugicha. It contains some antioxidant compounds, although far less than a true green tea. It's also thought to be good for digestion, and that's one of the reasons it's so widely drunk in Japan. While this claim needs to be studied further, there's no reason not to drink Mugicha. It's caffeine-free, sugar-free, and contains almost no calories, making it a great alternative to soft drinks, especially in the summertime when you can just brew up pitchers of it as a cold brew. So hopefully that cleared up some of your questions on Mugicha. If you like this video and want to see us explore more teas in the future, please make sure that you like and subscribe. If you want to try some of the best teas we found during our travels around Japan, you can find them all on our website, neoteas.com. When you order tea from us, you're not just helping support this channel, you're also helping us to support the dozens of talented farmers we work with. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.